Most people don't buy luxury because they need a better product. They buy luxury because they need a better character, something different, maybe their ideal self. Louis Vuitton duffel bag does not simply carry your clothes. It allows you to look like somebody who is constantly leaving for something important. A Rimowa suitcase does not simply protect your belongings. It makes you look like an experienced travel even before you get to the airport. Chrome Heart hoodie does not just simply keep you warm, but it places you inside of a world full of bikers, celebrities, private clients, and people who supposedly know something the average shopper does not, all right? Like you're tapped in, like you're super, super, super tapped in. That is why the rise of what I call the LARPing economy exposes luxury for what it truly is. Now, LARP traditionally live action role playing, people put on costumes for a fictional world and temporarily become a different person. But the modern version does not always simply involve medieval armor. Okay, sometimes the costume, and other times it'll be like $1,000 pair. Sometimes it's an aluminum case, an expensive coffee, carefully selected hotel lobby, or an Instagram carousel designed to suggest that you have a completely different life. We're all role playing game. The only difference is that luxury brands have learned how to charge us for the costume, which is what I hope you guys are starting to see. But today, I want to break down how Louis Vuitton, Rimowa, Supreme, Enfants Riches Déprimés, Gallery Department, and Chrome Hearts have each created a character that customers try to become, right? Then I want to explain why Chrome Hearts is beginning to occupy the cultural position that we held about 2016, 2017, which I remember very, very vividly. Everyone wanted a Gucci belt, everyone clothes, everyone was modeling in Gucci. But most importantly, I want to show clothing brand owners how to use the LARPing economy ethically, how to make clothes that help customers feel closer to their ideal selves without lying to them, manufacturing fake value, or building a brand that disappears as soon as. Get into part one. What is the LARPing economy, right? Like, what the fuck is this guy Haki talking about? LARPing economy is the market surrounding products, placed in experiences that allow people to perform aspirational ideas. You're not merely purchasing the product, right? I keep saying this in all my videos. You're not just purchasing. The customer is not just trying to purchase a product or an object. You're purchasing evidence of a story that you want to tell about yourself. Think about the different characters currently being sold online. There's the archive fashion intellectual who wears obscure Japanese designers, listens to experimental music, and acts like every outfit requires a historical explanation. There's the underground creative director who wears faded black, carries a silver laptop, sits inside expensive coffee shops, and is somehow always working on a project. I might be guilty of some of these, I'm not even gonna lie, right? But there's also the wellness entrepreneur who buys green juice, Pilates classes, neutral activewear, and skincare products that make her bathroom look like a boutique hotel. There's a young businessman wearing loafers, carrying a briefcase, and recording motivational videos before his business has made any real money. There's a mysterious rock star in leather pants, silver jewelry, dark sunglasses, and chrome hearts. But guys, guess what? These identities are not always fake. The person may genuinely be working towards becoming an artist, founder, traveler, athlete, or entrepreneur. But the product or purchasing the product allows them to experience the identity before they have fully earned it. This is what makes this new economy or the LARPing economy so powerful. People do not always wait until they become successful to dress successfully. Sometimes they dress like the person they want to become because the clothing helps them become, or at least believe that they can become the person. Research on fashion consumption shows that the importance of this ideal self relationship. One study involving 751 millennials found that congruity with a person's ideal fashion self was a stronger predictor of fashion consciousness, status consumption, congruity with their actual self. Research on luxury brand identity has also connected symbolic brand value with self-esteem, emotional fulfillment, and recognition from others. In other words, people are not only asking, does this product fit me? But what they're really asking is, does this product fit the person I'm trying to become? The question is the foundation of luxury. Now let's get into part two, which is Louis Vuitton sells the important traveler. Louis Vuitton is one of the clearest examples of a brand turning a functional object into identity. The company began in Paris in 1854 with travel at the center of its identity. Louis Vuitton's flat-top trunk was an actual functional innovation. Unlike rounded trunks, it could be stacked, while its construction was designed to remain lightweight, durable, and resistant to shocks and water. That history matters because Louis Vuitton did not randomly attach itself to travel later. Product began as equipment for people in the world, but over time, the meaning expanded. Louis Vuitton no longer sells only the ability to transport an object; it sells the image of a person whose life requires luxurious transportation. Right? Gotta have a Louis bag, gotta have a Louis wallet, gotta have a Louis or Louis glasses, perfume. Right? This is a new, completely different product. Person carrying Louis Vuitton is not supposed to look like they are taking a Greyhound bus to their cousin's apartment. They're supposed to look like they're arriving somewhere important, right? Glass, right? Paris, Milan, New York, Monaco, airport lounge, or private resort, a Formula One race, even, right? And even when the customer is not traveling, the monogram communicates importance and access. So while Louis Vuitton continues to connect its trunks to culturally important moments, houses produce trophy trunks for major sporting competitions and made bespoke trunks for the medals and torches in Paris for Olympics. Look, trunk becomes more than luggage. Luggage becomes a container for victory. The association eventually transfers to the person. Whenever you purchase Louis Vuitton, part of what you're buying is the identity of the important traveler possesses a schedule. They have to be they're going a lot. They have a lot of destinations. Important. Have a significant life. They're cool, right? But this is why a Louis Vuitton duffel bag can transform airport photograph. I have proof of started using on duffels. All a spike up in likes, spike up and it out more aesthetic with a luxury product being. It goes back, Virgil. I put this. I forget what it was. Crushed. It was like basically trash, but he put this in a art. He said, I put it on. Why does Louis Vuitton? Why does having the duffel bag like? The area itself has not changed. The airport is still the airport, but it's having the bag there changes the entire story. Without the bag, photo just says that I'm traveling. Right with the bag, I got motion. I travel a lot. Not a normal thing for me. That is the LARPing account. Let's get to part 3. Rimowa sells proof of a life well traveled. Rimowa sells a similar character, but it uses a completely different visual. Louis Vuitton sells romantic luxury travel. Rimowa sells the experience, efficient, design conscious traveler. The company traces its history to Cologne in 1888. Developed its expertise in aviation. In 1950, it added the group to the remaining organized design code. Brilliance of Rimowa is not simply that the case looks expensive; it looks like equipment. The aluminum, visual hardware, industrial construction make them prepared. It suggests that the person does not occasionally take vacations. The person has a travel system. But Rimowa's most interesting move is the way it treats damage. Most brands would want their luxury product to remain flawless. Rimowa tells customers that actions create a patina, involving record of the owner's travels that should be celebrated. Think about how intelligent that is. Honestly, that is like that's literally next level G. Like, yeah, man, it's definitely gonna get scratches. We're sorry about that because it is like a $25,000 suitcase. But look, celebrate it because it shows that you really use. I mean, it is smart. Honestly, I buy into it. I want one. I'm gonna get one. Ain't over it too. Don't trip. Right, but the damage becomes social evidence as you travel. Right, like, and every dent says the case has been somewhere. And the customer is not just buying a new suitcase; they're buying a future artifact from the life hope to live. Or they, right? A perfectly clean Rimowa says, "I purchased an expensive suitcase." A damaged one says, "I have stories." Right. Interesting. More of a conversational. Imagine walking up and seeing somebody and being damn, dude, isn't that like a Rimowa? That's like a how much ever expensive suitcase. Why is it all banged up? Oh, well, this one's from Rome, 2024, and this one's from and it also shows that it has longevity, right? Most products lose status whenever they deteriorate, though, but Rimowa has created a system where deterioration narrative. I also feel like this about Jordan. Like, this isn't a luxury thing. I feel like Jordan 1s, in my opinion, get better over time. Like because the way that the leather is, it looks so good. Like when it ages, it's been, I don't know. But that is the type of thing that clothing brand study, right? Not only ask yourself, how does the product look on release day? Ask what will it mean after 6. And the fading, the stressing, wear, repairs, of personalization become customer actually participated in your world. Part 4, right? That's Supreme. How they sold a membership before scarcity. Supreme is usually discussed as a scarcity case study. People say Supreme became successful because it produced limited quantities, released product in drops, and allowed resale prices to explode. Scarcity alone does not create culture. You can produce 10 terrible shirts and they will still be 10 terrible shirts. Supreme's real strength is what customers a character and a physical community before the rest of the world by that character mattered, right? Everyone loves Supreme now, man. And they're making a comeback. They've been making a comeback. Let's get to how it started. Supreme began in downtown Manhattan in 1994 as a skate shop connecting skaters, artists, and rebellious youth. Later helped popularize the modern product drop model and became one of the influential streetwear brands in the world. The early Supreme customer was not merely buying a box logo, they were buying proof that they understood downtown New York culture and that they were a part of that era. Product communicated membership. Then, of course, everyone wanted to be a part of it, right? This is what happens whenever subculture becomes desirable. First, outsiders were the product because it represents the actual community. Then outsiders buy the product because they want to resemble the insiders. Literally what happened to the skating community as a whole, I wouldn't just say Supreme, right? But eventually people with no relationships to the original culture begin using the symbols. Again, that is when the LARP becomes visible, right? About Aloe and Lululemon. A lot of these people that be in these, I ain't judging, but take that Lulu off, girl. You too damn big, dang. But again, it sells the lifestyle of, oh, I work out, oh, I'm fit, I'm active, you know. And with Aloe, it sells the light. Even if you're not an active person, oh, I'm fit, oh, I'm active. I wear active wear. I move around a lot. You guys see what I'm saying? This is when the LARP becomes visible. Club with me now. Now, let's talk about this collaboration that honestly changed the streetwear game as a whole. This is the Louis Vuitton and Supreme collaboration in 2017, right? Supreme officially entered the visual world of one of the most established luxury houses, which transformed a downtown skate code into a global luxury. Right? At that point, a Supreme product could allow a customer in almost any part of the world to role play proximity to New York street culture, right? Get that New York street energy and vibe, right? All in cotton. It's crazy. But Supreme also demonstrates the danger of scaling a cultural signal too far. Brand changed corporate owners with Alessor Luxottica completing its acquisition from VF Corporation in October 2024. The sale value Supreme at approximately 1.5 billion, below the 2.1 which they had paid for in 2020. That does not mean that Supreme suddenly became meaningless, but it means that the cultural value of it is fragile. The product becomes easier to understand, easier to access, and detach from the community that originally gave it. The customer may no longer feel like an outsider. Costume becomes too common. When everybody can play the same character, the people who originally made the character desirable begin searching for a new universe. Part 5. Enfants Riches Déprimés sells the tortured hair. Enfants Riches Déprimés understands something most new clothing brand owners are afraid to admit. Sometimes exclusion is part of the product. The name literally translates to depressed rich kids. The brand's visual world combines aristocratic clothing, punk references, military uniforms, damaged materials, leather, nihilism, the image of privileged youth destroying themselves beautifully. At its parent, oh my god, this is my favorite. They have my favorite runway shows. They have some of the best runway shows, I would say, in fashion the past 2 years. Real shit. From the music selection to the stage to the it's very cohesive. I just had to add that in there. I love it. Check it out. Awesome. But anyways, at its Paris Fashion Week 2025 presentation, the Associated Press described the brand's core language as a contradiction between bourgeois refinement and counterculture. Sharp uniforms, silver details, raw hems, fine leather, and the mood of an affluent young person returning from a lost weekend. That contradiction is the character. The ERD customer is not simply wealthy. Traditional wealth can appear disciplined, conservative, and respectable. The ERD character has access to wealth, but rejects the behavior expected from wealth, right? This is the new money attitude. He is educated enough to understand obscure references, rich enough to afford the product, and damaged enough to make rebellion appear authentic. Whether that customer truly has a life represented by the clothes is almost irrelevant. Clothing provides the evidence. A distressed ERD shirt can allow a normal person with a normal job and a normal apartment to temporarily enter the world of the. This is also why the extremely high pricing is not separate from identity. If the product were affordable to everybody, it would lose part of the contradiction. Customers paying a luxury price for something designed to look damaged, antagonistic, or anti-luxury. That tension makes the purchase feel more extreme. You're not merely wealthy enough to the quality. You're supposedly wealthy enough to spend luxury money on decay. ERD demonstrates that a brand does not need to sell a universally attractive fantasy. Sometimes a sharper, more specific, and even uncomfortable fantasy creates a stronger cult. Mistake would be copying ERD's distressing typography or controversial references without understanding the underlying character and why it works. Now, the valuable lesson is not make an destroyed shirt. Everybody else on TikTok Shop is already doing that. The lesson is create a character so specific that customers understand what wearing a product says about them. Boom. Let's get into part 6, okay? We dropping an extra long one for y'all. That's gonna be gallery department. They sell the artist uniform, okay? This one really should make sense. It should click immediately. Gallery department sells a different type of aspiration. It sells the creative worker. Founder Josue Thomas originally treated gallery department as a creative space rather than a conventional fashion label. His early work centered on reworking vintage clothing, paint, reconstruction, and other interventions to transform pieces that might otherwise have been over. Thomas has described aged clothing as having its own character and personality. It's very, very true. I eventually want to do a drop, and I've been looking for it. Hey, I've been going, telling them like, call me if you get bulk vintage, like faded. Like I want natural, like sun faded t-shirts. Look like they've been sitting in someone's garage for like 20 years. So I can print on them. But it's just because it literally does have its like own personality. Like the piece looks completely different age. It's unexplainable, man. You can get something very, very similar to it whenever you stress it and you do all the things that you can do during the manufacturing process. Never comes out looking. But this philosophy for the brand produced an extremely legible paint splattered pants, faded shirts, reconstructed denim, workwear, trucker hat, objects that look as long they've literally been pulled directly from the artist's studio. The important phrase is look as though. Some gallery department customers are artists, right? Some are musicians, designers, photographers, or stuff. Other customers simply want the visible aura of creativity, right? Look like they are creative. They want to look like they paint. They want to look like they draw. The paint mark functions like Rimowa's dent, just activity. They imply that something happened while the customer was wearing the product. The pants communicate, I make them. That's why copying a paint splatter without creating a wider world usually fails, and why people just see your paint splatter and they're like, oh, they got that from gallery department. Unless it genuinely matches your brand or the story that you're trying to tell. Just another guy on TikTok Shop. It sucks. It sucks. There's a lot of people doing this. The physical paint is not the real value. The value is the identity attached to it. Gallery department has continued expanding that idea. January 2026, the company appointed former Off-White executive Andrea Grilli as CEO. Vogue reported that gallery department had grown to more than 60 wholesale accounts globally, while Grilli described its output as cultural clothing rather than conventional fashion. Right? The phrase perfectly explains why the brand works. It is clothing, but it carries the evidence of a culture. Gallery department allows someone to put the uniform of the Los Angeles artist without needing permission from an art institute. And that is what a strong fashion brand does. It gives customer a visible shortcut and an identity. Right. Let's get into part 7 of this. Right. I hope you guys understand. Larping economy is so crazy, but part 7 is Chrome Hearts is becoming the era. This era's Gucci. Chrome Hearts is not going to replace Gucci. Gucci is a massively global fashion house that has been around for longer than Chrome Heart. But Chrome Heart operates through a far more controlled, opaque, and unconventional. But could not be that, right? Culturally, though, it is in the position Gucci is, in the 2017 era, which Gucci became one of the clearest uniforms of aspiration. Under Alessandro Michele, Gucci created an instantly recognizable maximalist world filled with double G logos, embroidered animals, loafers, belts, brightly colored tracksuits, vintage references, accessories that photographed. Right. That's not only cultural. Turing reported Gucci comparable revenue growth of 44.6% in 2017. Retailers told Vogue that Gucci's products were retail gold, with logo tees repeatedly selling out. 5 of the one retailer's top 10 products for fall 2017 were logo tees. Gucci gave the customer a complete visual identity. You did not need to explain that you were participating in fashion. The green and red stripe, double G belt, embroidered sneaker, or logo shirt explained. Gucci became a shortcut. It was visible enough for average people to recognize, but expensive enough to communicate status. Chrome Hearts now occupies a very, very similar position for a younger, more internet native fashion customer, but they're using a complete strategy. Chrome Hearts was founded in Los Angeles in 1988 and initially created leather goods and jewelry for bikers and rock stars. Literally specific. Its recognizable language included sterling silver, Gothic crosses, dagger motifs, and Old English. Those codes are now readable from across the room. Chrome Hearts does not need a clean luxury logo. Cross patches, silver hardware, horseshoe graphic, and Gothic typography identify the character immediately. Unlike the soft, minimal image associated with quiet luxury, Chrome Hearts is extremely loud, physical, and unapologetically decorated. Contrast is helping it resonate now. In 2026, Overture argued that Chrome Hearts has developed such a strong hold on Gen Z, its cultural position can be compared with Supreme, which is very true as well. It's definitely been moving like Supreme. The resale for Chrome Heart, like it's Chrome, it's so ridiculous, man. People are getting better returns on their money on Chrome Heart jeans than they are than S&P 500, dog. Like this shit it's getting really out of hand, right? Right. The publication pointed to recent visibilities on celebrities, though, including Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, and Charlie XCX, while a luxury source reported increasing requests during the previous 2 to 3 years, right? Which we've seen a really big growth. Like I said, I always got to put it out for the. Notice had back one. But anyway, that Chrome Heart logo just means feel like a certain way when I put it on. But their biggest advantage is not just celebrity exposure alone. Celebrity exposure makes people want the product. The difficulty of obtaining it makes them want more. British GQ described Chrome Hearts retail as an uneven, opaque access system where desirable products may never reach the shop floor. Demand has pushed customers toward resale, while access to rarer pieces can depend on relationship, timing, and proximity to demand. That's really, really important. Like the fact that you can't just go in a which is very true, bro. It's ass. I went to the Chrome Heart store in New York. I didn't even I was gonna record it, but I didn't even record it because I'm like, bro, there's not shit in here, bro. I'm not really trying to spend I don't want Chrome Hearts undies, bro. Where the fuck are the t-shirts at? Like, where's the denim? Like, don't get me wrong. One of the coolest buildings I've been. But yeah, it's like, dude, what the fuck? Where's the jewelry at, bro? Where's the ring? I'm trying to see a Chrome Heart ring. Where the fuck is the Chrome Heart? Where's the $10,000 Chrome Heart ring at? I'm trying to see it. Come on, man. Nowhere. Oh, it's just like to compare it. It's very similar to your experience at Rolex. They don't it's very difficult to buy a watch from Rolex. Very difficult. Damn near have to go to the store, inquire maybe 1 to 2 times. Come back to us. Weird, bro. Weird. Gucci in 2017 created aspiration through maximum visibility, but Chrome Hearts did something different. They created aspiration through visible symbols and invisible access. You can recognize the uniform. You may not be able to purchase the best version of it. That creates multiple levels of participation. Entry-level customer gets the trucker hat, t-shirt, or hoodie. The more connected customer has silver jewelry. And the serious customer has patch denim, leather, custom pieces, furniture, or products most people have never seen in a store. Deeper you enter the world, the more the brand appears to reveal itself. That is not simply a product catalog, it's a social hierarchy. Like literally, you have to be tapped in to be able to get a Chrome Heart rug retail, bro. Or a Chrome Heart, anything. They do literally anything. I feel like if you're close enough or somebody that worked is a part of the club, the Chrome Hearts team. If you just have if you have the money for it, bro, whatever price they ask, you get anything made. I feel like they'll design it. I wonder if you're that close with the original creators in the family. If you get an apartment designed full of just custom Chrome Hearts pieces, how much would it cost? Real deal. This is a possibility because they in the Chrome Hearts New York store, it shows you that there's Chrome Hearts dinosaurs, Chrome Heart animals. The huge Gothic crosses just everywhere. It's everywhere. And that hierarchy turns the customer into a collector, researcher, and participant. Chrome Hearts is becoming the uniform person who wants to be famous without looking corporate, wealthy without looking conservative, and fashionable without looking like they walked into a traditional designer store. Bought whatever, right? It sells the outlaw who somehow has access. That's why I believe Chrome Hearts is a role similar to Gucci's role in 20. That's because it is loud, recognizable luxury, and that currently defines the moment. The difference is that Gucci told the entire world what to buy. Chrome Hearts makes the world wonder whether it is allowed to. Now we reach the practical question: how can a new clothing brand use it? Let's say, let's make this ethical, right? You don't want to manipulate people into purchasing an product. You want to direct the customer's existing ambition towards a meaningful symbol. Desire already exists. The customer already wants to become more creative, more successful, more attractive, more disciplined, more connected, or more free. Brand's job is to give that transformation a visual language. Get this down into steps. Step one, you want to define the ideal self. Stop defining your customer only through age, location, and income. Those details matter for advertising, but not create a world for your brand. Instead, you want to ask, who does this person believe that they became? What are they trying to escape? What do they want strangers to assume? What kind of room, city, car, job, relationship, or lifestyle do they imagine when they picture their future? Louis Vuitton's customers become important travelers. Rimowa's customer becomes the experienced traveler. Deprimes' customer becomes PRD's customer becomes Gallery Department's customer becomes artist. Chrome Heart's customer, the Chrome outlaw. What does your customer become? Should be able to. Step two, create a recognizable unit. The ideal identity needs codes. Might be a silhouette, material, graphic language, a wash, symbol, color, accessory. Codes must repeat enough. Chrome Hearts has the crosses, silver, has Louis Vuitton has the monogram, travel form. Gallery Department has paint, reconstruction, and weathered work. The goal is not to stamp the giant logo on everything. The goal is to make the customer feel that each product comes from a strong brand. Step three, life around the product. Most clothing brands only photograph the costume, never show the role being. Not only show a model standing against a wall, show where the person goes. Apartment, airport, show the studio, show the morning, half packed suitcase, show the laptop with unfinished work, the coffee getting cold because the person is good. So the argument, the missed flight, the creative block, the late night breakthrough, all evidence that this character has an actual customer needs scenes that they can imagine themselves in or connect whatever you're trying. Oh, campaign should not merely say, buy these pants. It should say, this is what life feels like I'm one of us. Step four, create an entry port and a grail. Not every customer can purchase the most expensive items, especially in today's economies. But that doesn't mean that they don't want to participate. Chrome Hearts has accessible visual entry points such as hats, shirts, and hoodies, while rare jewelry, denim, leather, custom work, and furniture occupy higher levels of the world. New brand can do this. So, entry product might be a shirt, hat, tank, and or accessory. Middle product might be a pair of pants or jacket. The girl might be a handmade, numbered, or highly detailed piece, and that it's highly selected. Product gives customer access. Girl gives them something forward. But the hierarchy must be supported by actual differences in material, construction, labor, and or rarity. Not charge a girl price for an entry-level product and expect storytelling to hide the difference, right? Examples of this realistically is like Ralph Lauren's a good example. I don't remember all of the other labels under the purple label, but purple label is like top of the line, made in like actual Italy, like handcrafted. I literally just got done like, $3,000 sweaters, $4,000 suits type dealio versus your average polo, that's on the cheap end with the regular peak cotton. That's probably $56. And there's a step up from that. I forget. You guys get what. Mason Margiela. The basic. There's like multiple levels to Mason Margiela. There is the MM6, which is like this the line that really makes money. That's like the shoes, the like basic clothes. Or another one is like CDG, Comme des Garçons. They have multiple levels as like the fashion house slash brand that they are, but the main one that makes them the most money and allows them to creating the products, the bigger products is the CDG play, which is like the heart T-shirts, heart Converse, things of that nature. That allows them the more brand defining pieces, brand like the pieces that move the brand forward. Like, oh, this is what the brand is moving closer to. While they still have those staple pieces for the customers started buying their brand for those pieces. But next, right, my step 5, and that's build a ritual, not fake scarcity. Fake scarcity is announcing that only 50 pieces exist when you're prepared to restock them immediately. I see a lot of new like, but you said, and a lot of them end up getting caught up in that same situation. But you had said, yeah, real ritual is given to release a recognizable process. Might involve a recurring location, main chapter, password, physical ticket, private screen, numbered packaging, appointment, editorial newspaper, or early access. Ritual should deepen the story, not exist solely to pressure some bad financial decision. And marketing is that's really I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's all marketing really is. Sales trying to pressure somebody into making bad financial decision. But anyways, the strongest brands make access for customers entering culture, not because the countdown clock is streaming at. Step 6, let the customer provide evidence. Campaign and produces the character. Customers prove that the character can exist. Repost customers in studios, airports, restaurants, apartments, concerts, and show the product aging. Show how customers personalize. Show scratches, fading, and repairs. Make ownership feel like participation in an expanding archive. Product should collect the meaning more as people. Step 7, and that's deliver something real. This is where branding becomes separate. Excuse me. This is where branding separates itself from manipulation. Product must provide enough reality to support the fan. The fit should genuinely make the customer feel more confident. Material should feel more considered. The photography should reflect a world the founders actually understand. Community should offer real recognition. The event should create real memory. The message should connect with something that customers truly experience. We're not promising that a shirt will make someone rich, famous, but you are giving them a direction in which they've already chosen to move in life. That is an aspirational branding without deception. But the Larping economy does not prove that fashion is proves the opposite. If fashion is so meaningful that people use it to rehearse their person will buy a suitcase before traveling the world. They will buy workwear before becoming a full-time artist. They'll buy the loafers before closing a deal. They'll buy the leather jacket before becoming brave enough to live differently. They purchase the external symbol while trying to build the internal identity. Luxury brands understand this and literally are printing strategy. They understand that the customer is not only purchasing what the product is, but that the customer is purchasing what the product allows them to imagine. Louis Vuitton sells important travel. Rimowa sells the cream, sold the inside. ERD sells the tortured hair. Gallery Department sells the artist. Chrome Heart sells the outlaw with access. Now, question for all of you guys at the end: who does your customer become when they put on your clothes? Because if your answer is they become somebody wearing a good graphic, don't have a world yet, and you're not going. That is going to be it for y'all, for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm enjoying doing like these longer, drawn out. I know I'm still messing. Hey man, we doing it raw. You know? Yeah. Anyways, let me know some other brands you guys would like to break down strategy. And I'm very willing to do that. One that I'm looking likely going to be by Ralph Lauren actually, which is why we kind of talked about him today. But I'll see you guys in the next.